I wouldn't be mad to see Shedeur sitting for at least 2 seasons, and because their quarterback room has just kind of been comical at this point. The past couple of years, it's like
They have
what's
five
going
guys.
on?
5 guys in that room right now that have all been starters or could be starters at some point in their career. And looking at the Browns quarterback room, I think Shedeur Sanders is the most talented quarterback in that quarterback room. The question is are the Browns ready to have a rookie quarterback go out there and lead their team? Is like, as an organization, as a franchise, is Cleveland ready for something like that? A little fun fact though to your Joe Flacco thought, because Kirk Cousins, giving some knowledge to his the guy that's going to be replacing him essentially. Joe Flacco, when he was in Denver for that one season, and Drew Lock was a rookie, Joe Flacco wanted nothing to do with teaching Drew Lock how to play quarterback at the NFL level. So I do not like Joe Flacco for more than that reason. Obviously, he beat us in the 2014 AFC Championship game, or was it 2012 AFC Championship game? So there's so many reasons for me to not like Joe Flacco. So I don't think that Joe Flacco is going to be the guy that's going to like, hey, Shedeur, let me have a conversation and teach you how to play the quarterback position. I just don't see it.
No, I don't.
I think that I need Cleveland to be the Hard Knocks team this year, because I just want to see that quarterback room throughout the process.
Them and the Giants, please.
Yes.
We need Jameson Winstead, Russell Wilson, and Jackson Dart. Like, what's that quarterback room going to be like with those characters?
I have no idea
because Brian Daboll got his guy now.
Yeah,
but 2 of the 3 guys on that roster are not his guy.
No.
So, it'll be interesting. As far as, the quarterback, thing with Shedeur, we don't have to spend the whole show on it. There's a narrative though that we've got to, people nationally are pushing a narrative that isn't true. They're saying, 32 NFL teams passed over him 144 picks. Let's be realistic. There was maybe 5 teams that were looking for a quarterback in that draft.
Yeah, starting quarterback.
Yeah. So he didn't get passed over by 32 teams and go 144. He got passed over by 5 teams in 3 or 4 rounds. It's not like whether you like him, love him. I see a lot of problems with his game, especially after talking to a couple of guys. He was not going to be an upgrade for a majority of the teams drafting. I heard people, the Cowboys could take him. Dak's had injury problems. I don't care. I'll take Dak at 80% right now over Shedeur Sanders as a rookie in Dallas.
You ain't been hit by TJ Watt yet, man. Nobody was hitting you like that in Colorado. It's different.
And they ran an offense that was geared towards making Shedeur look really, really talented. And there's nothing wrong with that. That can happen Lincoln ran offenses at Oklahoma that put quarterbacks that literally couldn't sniff a starting job at other schools. He put them in an offense where it made them look like
they won the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah.
Every time.
It can be done. But talking to one guy, he said, my biggest problem with him is if you watch him, the joke about the padding the football, he's like, it's not a joke.
It's a slow release for sure.
It's a tick.
Yeah.
And he said, and then watching him pass up intermediate routes and shorter routes to get yardage to let Travis get open at the NFL level, you can't do that. So even if you say, but he can throw the intermediate route, he can throw the short slant. Okay. But he didn't do it. And then you didn't throw a combine. You did your own pro day.
You didn't interview well.
Yeah, you didn't show. You might have all the talent to do these things, but you didn't show people either when you were at Colorado and you didn't show them on an NFL pro. You didn't show them that you could do those things.
Yeah. That's where I'm at with Shedeur. I think he is an incredibly talented quarterback, and that shows by his completion percentage on passes where he had a clean pocket, which didn't happen a lot. Colorado's offensive line needs an overhaul. Coach Brian's got to figure out how to recruit that piece. But Like his completion percentage was incredible when he was kept clean. The issue was he was having to run around for his life for the most part the whole time. And just like you were saying, like it's just like the talent is probably there. Like I definitely have seen the flashes. The issue was like the consistency and the willingness to actually show that talent.
Yeah.
I think I actually had this conversation with my youth pastor at our church that I work with. It was the funny thing about Shedeur to me, and I could be totally off base with saying this but he expects the prime time treatment without doing the prime time work. And we just had Ricky Waters on 3 weeks ago, and he was talking to us about what Dion did in the locker room, at practice, like all of that stuff. And like he earned that nickname. He earned the media scrutiny, the media attention. Shedeur, I mean, probably could earn it himself. It's just almost that he expects it to happen, or he did expect like that prime time, that prime respect, without doing any of the stuff to earn that respect for the most part. I definitely still think that Shedeur could have a really good NFL career.
Isn't it funny,
I just need
though?
to see it.
Right. And isn't it funny, though? I at least saw Shiloh's post that when Shiloh basically fired his dad as his agent and hired a real one, he was like instantly drafted by the Bucks.
Yeah, they don't want Dion they don't want Dion as a part of the negotiations. And that is not a knock against Deion Sanders. I think any player who has their dad as an agent, no NFL team wants any part of that. Like I was talking to somebody about it during the draft show. I said, for all that we can talk bad about the way the NFL's run, at the end of the day, you are interviewing for a job.
Yeah.
If your mom showed up to your first interview as a guy that has hired hundreds of people in my career, your interview would be 5 minutes. Cause I'd go, I don't need, like, first time you get like want to call in sick or whatever, mom's going to call me. And I've had that happen. And I always tell, the managers, hey, this employee's mom just called in for him. Just letting you know, he ain't long for this world. Like, if he's not going to be able to handle his own problems, that's what it is. And the other part of it is, outside of the second round, the last thing the team wants to do is bring in a backup that the media is going to run right past the starting quarterback and want to talk to the backup quarterback.
Yep.
Especially when you've shown through social media that you might say some stuff that an NFL team doesn't want that. They don't want that smoke. They want to have to deal with it. They don't want the head coach show up Monday for press conference and you're talking to him about the backup. They don't want to deal with that. So, I thought maybe New Orleans was going to be a spot that he would go. I thought Kellen Moore could do something with him. And then I made the comment on the draft show. We're talking a lot about why the quarterbacks this year, where they are. A lot of it has to do with the quarterbacks that are coming out of college next year. If you're a team that can wait, if you're a first-year head coach, you got at least a couple years here. If you can hold off on taking somebody, there's a few quarterbacks coming out of college next year that might be a much better fit for you.
Yeah. And if you consistently draft great football players, you will eventually become a great football team.
Yes. You don't have to start with a quarterback.
Yeah.
And locker room culture is different. He's got guys in his locker room now like Myles Garrett, who's, on the back side of his career now. Really would love to win. He wants to win. He wants to win a Super Bowl. He's not going to put up with certain shenanigans like that.
He will hit you with your own helmet.
Yeah.
if
Be grateful that you're on his team, because that's the first thing I think about is these rookies like that coming into the league, getting hit for the first time by Myles Garrett or Nick Bosa or TJ Watt, some of those guys. And it's like, okay, welcome to the big time, baby. Here we go.
Bo Nix first 2 games last season against the Seattle defense in Seattle, and then against TJ Watt the next week.
Dude, it's different. That speed.
They're not getting hit like that in college, man, unless you play, I guess, Georgia, because, Philly's got all their lines.